Reign of Shadows, Chapter 1. Vason walked between worlds. At least that's how he saw it. Lately, it seemed like every step he took left him somewhere completely different. One moment, he was out in the sunshine, seeing Matoran and Dark Hunters working together in perfect harmony. Granted, they were building a giant cannon, but they were still getting along well. The next moment, everything had shifted, and he was in a quite different place. Here, a group named the Great Beings had built a 40 million foot tall mechanical being they named Makuta. Unfortunately, his brother Matanui was plotting a rebellion against him. How had this all begun? He tried to remember, never the easiest thing for Vezon to do. He had donned a Kanoi Olmec, a mask of dimensional gates, which he had found on Destrol. A portal opened up in front of him then. Eager to escape the island, he stepped through it, only to find himself facing an oncoming tidal wave. It washed over him, but he did not drown. Instead, he fell through another portal, winding up in the middle of a swamp. And then another, and then another. It took him quite some time to figure out what had happened to him. That his body, his essence, had fused to that of the Olmec. He was now, for all intents and purposes, a walking dimensional gateway. There was still a lot to learn, of course. Was the effect permanent? Could he ever learn to control the power so he could pick and choose where he went to? If he was holding something or someone, would they travel with him? Wouldn't that be interesting, he thought. First thing I'd do is find Makuta Pterodax and give him a great big hug. Tahu used his elemental powers to light a small campfire. It was foolish, he knew. There were Exo-Toa in the area and they would zero in on the heat. Then again, being a Toa of fire, they probably couldn't miss him anyway. He glanced around the camp at his team. It was not a sight to inspire confidence. In the days since Pterodax took over the universe, the Toa Nuva had scattered. They were too easy of a target if they stayed together. Hooking up with other fugitives as they went, they made for places of relative safety in order to regroup and plan. This explained why Tahu was sitting in the blasted ruins of Kazani, with a Kormatoran, Kapik, Jomak, a female Order of Matanui member with the ability to shatter and reassemble her body, Kraka, a female shape-shifting Rahi, and 2 Dark Hunters, Guardian and Lariska. Not exactly Gali, Lewa and Kopaka, thought Tahu, but they will have to do. We'll stay here a few more hours, then move out, he said. Onua said there were a few Order of Matanui agents somewhere south of here, looking for a cache of weapons and supplies. We'll hook up with them. And then what? Grumbled Guardian. Throw rocks at the sky? Challenge the wind with Kodak blasters? All we're doing is delaying the inevitable, and we all know it. And the alternative? Asked Jomak. Bow and scrape before Makuta, begging him for one more moment of life in which to serve him? Let me die then, as long as I do it a free being. Tahu, what are we going to do? Kapik asked, in hardly more than a whisper. Guardian is right. We're trying to fight the universe itself. No, we're not, said Tahu. We're fighting a mad being who controls the power of a universe. And it's not like learning a new machine at a Tarmetru forge. It takes time and practice to master so complex a system. And we're not going to give him that time. We're going to do a Pohatu on him. A Pohatu? Asked Kapik. Tahu smiled. That's right. When in doubt, smash everything, and hope you're somewhere else when it all goes boom. Guardian got up and walked away from the fire. He had nothing against Tahu, but there had to be a better way. Maybe instead of running from place to place, they should be trying to find a way out of this universe. Could be this place was lost, and it was time to accept it and move on. It wasn't an easy choice, but those weren't the kind he was used to making anyway. Beneath his feet, the ground opened. Bonds made of solid stone wrapped around him, yanking him down into the hole even as he screamed. Then the barren earth slammed shut again, and he was gone. The team was on its feet. "It's Makuta," said Tahu. "He knows where we are. He's toying with us." "Tell us something we don't know," snapped Lariska. "Like what do we do about it?" Before Tahu could answer, a dozen Exo-Toa appeared on the rise. Their missiles were loaded and aimed at the fugitives. The lead machine spoke in the voice of Makuta Pterodax. "Citizens of the Makutaverse, you are in an unauthorized area. You will accompany these Exo-Toa to Metru Nui, where you will be retrained for new work that will benefit all my people. You will live out your lives there, in peace and prosperity, wanting for nothing. Or you die now." "You know what?" said Lariska. "This may turn out to be the shortest revolution on record." To be continued.